everyone, and welcome to 슬기로운 출근 영어. And I am Kristen Cho. Thank you so much for joining me. 네, 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. Yes, it's all about business English. 근데 don't worry. Business English 하면은 좀 부담스럽고 어렵지 않을까 그렇게 생각하지 마세요. Okay? If we're gonna have a great time, we're gonna make it easy, but also keep it very natural. All right? So we're gonna speak like native speakers at the office. All righty. So first of all, let's go ahead and look at today's dialogue. 스미스 씨와 전화 통화 가능할까요? May I speak to Mr. Smith, please? 전화 거신 분은 누구이신지 여쭤봐도 될까요? May I ask who's calling, please? 저는 EBS 무역의 존리입니다. 이거를 영어로 어떻게 할까요? How would we say this in English? Well, let's find out. That is today's dialogue. So it's basically telephone English, business telephone English. 네, 우리가 한국 회사를 다녀도 뭐 외국인 손님이 있을 수가 있고 아니면은 또 그런 거래도 할 수도 있잖아요. So this is very, very important to learn some basic English when you're talking on the phone. Okay, so here we go. John Lee says, "May I speak to Mr. Smith, please?" 네, could I speak to or may I speak to? Both is fine. 네, 스미스 씨와 전화 통화 가능할까요? This is very basic. And the assistant, 그 상대방이 그러는 거죠. May I ask who's calling? 그래서 보통 이게 business에서는, business situation에서는 거의 may를 많이 쓰죠. This is like the most polite form of English. So, may I ask who's calling? 그냥 who's calling 하면은 너무 좀 it's kind of rude, right? So, of course, we would say, may I ask who's calling? 자, 전화 거신 분이 누구신지 여쭤봐도 될까요? All right, so here is our key sentence here. 저는 EBS 무역의 John Lee입니다. Okay, this is John Lee from EBS Trading. 자, if you look at this, I'm calling from EBS Trading or I work at EBS, 이런 거 없죠, right? So the key word here is from. So this is the name. This is Kristen Cho, and then 어디에서, right? From, 자, 회사 이름. EBS training 이런 식으로 하면 됩니다. So sometimes 이게 이렇게 딱 보면은 되게 쉽게 보이지만 막상 또 영어를 하려고 하면은 되게 머리가 복잡하죠. So this is why we need to learn these easy expressions that make it easy for us to speak English. All right? So let's look at that whole dialogue again. May I speak to Mr. Smith, please? May I ask who's calling, please? 자, please가 많죠? This is John Lee from EBS Trading. Great. Let's look at some expressions in detail. Here's the first one. We have a pattern here. And the pattern is, may I speak to? May I speak to? 아주 기본이죠. 누구와 통화가 가능할까요? May I speak to? So here are the examples. So the first one is, may I speak to the manager. So 이름도 될 수 있겠지만 그냥 뭐 무슨 매니저님 이게 한국 분들이 매니저님 하지만 저한테는 굉장히 그 발음이 어려워요. So I'm going to say manager. Okay. manager와 통화 가능할까요? So may I speak to the manager? manager 누군지 몰라요. But you want to speak to the manager. May I speak to the manager? 좀 화가 났어요. I have a complaint. Okay, next one. May I speak to someone in accounting? 자, 이런 상황이 있을 수가 있어요. 누군지는 모르겠지만 통화 회계 department 아니면 design department 아니면은 customer service department 거기에서 누군가하고 통화하고 싶을 때 someone in 어디 어디. So, may I speak to someone in accounting? 자, 회계 담당자분과 통화 가능할까요? 아니면 may I speak to someone in reservation? Okay? May I speak to someone in 거기서 department를 말할 수 있습니다. So you can kind of change it around a little bit. Okay, let's move on to our next one. This is another pattern. This is a great pattern. This is so-and-so, the person, the name of the person, from the name of the company. 저는 어떤 회사의 누구입니다. This is how it works. So let's look at the example. This is 누구? Kristen Cho from 어디? EBSE. All right, so that is the pattern. So 저는 EBSE의 크리스틴 조입니다. Very good. Next one. This is 자 이름 Matthew Park 어디? From EBS software. 저는 EBS software Matthew Park입니다. So, if you know this pattern, it makes it much easier to say it very simply. 그러니까 복잡하게 하지 않고 아주 간단하게. 딱 보면은 이거 되게 간단한데 왜 이렇게 말을 안 했을까? Oh, my name is Matthew Park and I work for, EBS software. It's too long. Okay, this is Matthew Park from EBS Software. This is Ms. Cho from, the dentist's office. You can do anything with this pattern. All right, so keep these two patterns in mind and let's move on to shadowing. It's time for some shadowing, everyone. All right, so we are going to practice the main dialogue like a native speaker. 자, 우리 dialogue을 좀 native speaker speed로 이 shadowing을 할 거예요. 그래서 I am the native speaker. So follow me. All right, here we go. May I speak to Mr. Smith, please? May I ask who's calling, please? This is John Lee from EBS Trading. How was it? Good? All right, let's do it one more time. May I speak to Mr. Smith, please? May I ask who's calling, please? This is John Lee from EBS Trading. All right, not bad. Okay, 자, always go with the rhythm. 자, 리듬을 따라서 하면은 조금 더 쉬워져요. With practice, you'll get better. All right, let's take a little quiz and see if you remember some of the expressions and sentences that we learned today. 스미스 씨와 전화 통화 가능할까요? 전화 거신 분은 누구신지 여쭤봐도 될까요? 저는 EBS 무역의 존 리입니다. Excellent job! You did great! All right, so we practiced a lot of these sentences and phrases, but before we end the show, let's do a quick review one more time. So we had two key patterns today. So, may I speak to so-and-so. So may I speak to Mr. John? May I speak to Mr. Cho? All right, that is the pattern. And the most important one that you shouldn't forget is this is 누구누구 from 어디. So that is the pattern. If you're introducing, especially if you're on the phone, this is Kristen Cho from EBSE. That's right. So if you know these sort of patterns and sentences, it does make your English speaking much easier. Remember, English, 영어는 그렇게 복잡하고 생각보다 안 어려울 때가 많아요. 그래서 자꾸 머릿속에서 막 이걸 어떻게 해야 되지? 그런 것보다 이런 표현을 배우고 외우고 다시 써먹고. Alright, very good. That's it for today. I'll be back for another round of 출근 영어. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye!